what went on in New York City in terms of the police situation. Wenjian Liu, one of the cops who was murdered by an incredibly, I think, mentally unstable and depressed guy. There was a long piece in the New York Times that talked about how this guy came to shoot these police officers. And I can just, it's quite clear that it had nothing to do with any protests or anything other than this guy's mental state. Of course, some members of the police department turned their back on the mayor. I guess while he was speaking, they were outside. I mean, it's just disgusting. And just so transparent. Because look, these police union leaders were saying the same thing about Bloomberg and about Giuliani and about Dinkins. And they've been engaging in a slowdown in the city where apparently tickets and summons for minor offenses has dropped by 90%. And I guess the theory is, and you should know, the amount of money. People say like, oh, they do this just to line the coffers of New York City. The money that we're talking about here relative to the New York City budget is minuscule. It's millions of dollars when you've got, billions of dollars worth of budget. I'm not saying it's completely irrelevant, but the city's not going to come to its knees, to a screeching halt. This is part of community policing, or what I should say, the broken windows perspective on policing, which is we're going to get people on all these low-level offenses, jump at a turnstile, selling loosies, jaywalking, depending on what color they are, the jaywalker, et cetera, et cetera. And this is going to net us the big criminals, keep them off the street or prevent them from doing it. And the irony here is there are two things that are definitely happening, at least at this point, with the police slowdown. The one thing that's definitely happening is that there's a lot of people who live in poverty or close to poverty or have a just under middle class income who are saving a lot of money. We're not getting hit with a $125 jaywalking ticket. That's the first thing that's happening. The second thing that's happening is that crime has not gone up in the city. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's only been a couple of weeks. But it is slowly showing to the rest of the city that if this broken windows thing was actually effective at one point, which I have my doubts. I think longtime listeners of the show know that I'm a proponent of the lead theory. I'm not going to get into that at the moment. But what's clear is, or what is starting to become clear, is that the broken windows thing, if it ever was effective, is no longer necessary. That's to be generous. It's a victim of its own success. And so it's basically showing the policy apparatus, it's having the opposite effect, I think, of what the police unions were hoping would happen. Because it is weakening the bargaining position of these police unions. So no one's quite clear about how widespread this slowdown is, but we can only measure as to what the drop-off in tickets is. And it's going to be interesting to see how long they keep this up. This could go on for months. And it may very well show the policy people that, like, this work stoppage, not such a big problem.